The Out There channel.
Please sub and share.
Searching for the truth. UFOs, aliens, greys and ufology. Real images, real stories, real videos, real cases, researched and investigated by professionals in the field and cutting-edge discoveries. Multiple witnesses, abduction accounts brought to you by Team The Out There channel. Good to be back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Action.
Pew 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 pew. Check that UFOs. Update channels got your number. Yo. Anyone out there? So let's see. It must be at 10 o'clock. So, what is it? Saturday, Friday. So it might not be anyone around. Maybe I should have done this yesterday. Done this next day, Sunday, which is your Saturday. Oh well, too bad. We'll maybe even have to do one Monday, but I've got lots on at the moment, and no one's much interested anymore anyway, are they? Oh, these are pretty bad again. Hey, Gabber. Hey, at least you made it. Hey, you want to come on tonight? I haven't really got anything planned. I'm just going to go over everything that's been happening paranormal wise and look at all the crap on UFO channels. Yeah, where is everybody on Friday morning UK? And it must be what, Friday night time USA, so there should be USA people around, shouldn't there? But it's yes, for some reason I was thinking it's Saturday in UK, but it's Saturday here, so it can't be. But anyway, yes, all these 5 o'clock mornings nutting out problems, tech. Still working on the cameras and all the problems with them. Getting there. I got a new phone. I spent the last 2 nights trying to figure out how to route it. I got there in the end. So you could come in. Okay. I'll set it up then. Let's see. What about system information though? Where's it disappear to? I could do the free for all one. That way other people could join in too if they wanted to. But then we might get some trolls. I got my main one. We'll do the free for all one, I suppose. All you need is a Windows PC with basically Chrome on it, and just to type in this line here, give yourself a name. You don't need no email or account. It just pops you straight into the special room where we can actually talk. So yeah, I haven't tried it out for a while, so hopefully it works. Free for all room. I'll just bring it up here. You could just check to see if it's working if you're not coming in right now. Vape juice, that's not good for you. Yeah, just jump into the room and you can turn the camera off. Just give yourself a name, Gab or something. And it will just show the letter G instead, and it should blink, hopefully. So yeah, I'm in my room by myself at the moment, and when you join, it will make a rrrp noise, and it will come up with your icon. This information needs to be Chrome. It doesn't have to be Chrome, but I know it works in Chrome. If you got Brave, that will work, as long as it's one of the newer versions. Again, they changed some security on it, so they were forced to update it, which is where all my problems started with various apps not working properly. Let's minimize that. So yeah, I've got a few more videos to look at on the ghost front. Anyway, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter what language it is, because you're only going to use it for voice and chat, aren't you? So just paste just open the link in. As long as you can read Chinese. If it changes, I'm not even sure if Jitsi recognizes Chinese, whether it's forced into English or not. Haven't tried it with other countries apart from UK and USA. Yeah, it's just a peer-to-peer app, so it's running a web API between us, no man in the middle, so they can't spy on us. I'm surprised the Chinese are not using it, actually. As long as you've got a VPN, or no VPN is better. If you've got a paid VPN, that's better, but free ones generally crap. It's better to do close to your router as possible, if you're going to do it wirelessly, or a cable laptop is the best. That way you'll get no dropouts. Not seeing you in. It should have made a noise. And you should see my desktop once you're in. No. Yeah, you're not there. You normally have to click on join room, type in the name, join room. That's all you have to do. As long as you haven't mucked around with web API, you should be right. Normally I've set this up before a live show, so it's all ready to go. Because people don't like hanging around, but they don't know how to use the scroll button on playback, do they? And they don't know how to use the chapters that they create, so you can actually click on it and it'll skip past it on YouTube, at least anyway. Those other alt media players are yet to catch up with that. You know, you can install Chrome's Portable. That's what I use. That way it never gets touched. So you can update your main system one, but always run the portable one for all your chat programs and stuff. You know it's going to work. From that link, yep. Free for all. No one else has had problems with it. Should work pretty well from Australia, I'd say too. Oh, that's what I clicked on to start mine. At least I think I have. Hang on. Maybe I clicked on the wrong one. Jitsi with guests, it says. Discord. Oh, right. No, I clicked the wrong one. It's me. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll start the right one up now. There we go. Hey, Mr. G. There he is. And it's blinking. What's going on? Alright, infinity and beyond. Alright, we got there. Can you hear me? You won't need YouTube running. If you've got YouTube running, just pause it. It'll be a few minutes behind. Like it always is. You flicked up there for a minute, but you disappeared again. So, here we go.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
And you can see everything on the screen, right?
Yep.
We have done this before, you know. I'll just stick Mr. Grey down there. Okay.
I've just got to get my vape juice. I've run out.
Alright,
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Now we know it's up and running. Oh, yep, that's looking good. We can sort that out. So, anyway, I'm going to start talking about update on the ghost stuff, I think. I'm not sure if anyone's watching. Gabber will probably give a rundown of his UFO story. So, yeah, the light's been coming on random days. It hasn't been coming every day. And I've captured some more screen snapshots. And I've got a new clock on the wall to measure temperature and humidity, which is coming in quite handy, although the camera is substandard at 720p. If it was 180, I'd probably be able to read that a wee bit better. But anyway, so what we got? We got 29th of June, 30th of June, and June the 2nd. That's the days it's come on so far. And I grabbed the recordings, of course. What did I do on this one? I think I called it July instead of June last time too. Right, hasn't got the extra bits yet. Okay, so I had a look at this orb one, and with the sound. So we might have a look at that first. Go back one. Okay, so I added it to the thumbnail. So this one here, I'll just get it set up. Oh, right, I haven't actually typed the title of today's show either. Gradually getting rid of that cough, but it keeps wanting to come back. So this one here, where we get the sound, and suddenly the orb appears, right? There's the sound. And there's that hiss sound too. And then something moves from up down here. There it is there. It's very faint to see it. If it was dust, why aren't we seeing lots of dust? So that's quite interesting. What's happening here? So that never normally happens here with the corner thing. So slide off it. Adds that on. Is there a way to get rid of that? Hang on, let me just sort this out. I don't want it sliding up. It used to be hide completely. Looks like they've changed it, haven't they? They've changed it to a damn hover mode. I might have to get him to move his camera over, but that's right, we'll probably have him full screen anyway. He's explaining his things. So I took that snapshot from one of the orbs that you can't quite see anyway. It's just above the door here. It's really hard to see it, but it's there. And you can see it's leaving kind of like a trail behind it too, which I've never seen with smoke, dust particles or water particles. So I was going to analyse that a wee bit further tonight. So run it through some filters here, brings it out a wee bit better. You can see here that's here it's moving and it's leaving this trail behind it. Shame it's not a 180p or 4K camera. Kind of looks like a lion head, doesn't it? It looks like a lion's nose. And the little ear sticking out in the head. See that? It looks like a lion's head. But it could be a face. Everybody keeps saying they see spirits moving around. You can actually see faces in them. Kind of looks like a neck. I can't remember what the guy looked like, but he was pretty young that committed suicide if it's him. Does look like a face though, doesn't it? Anyway, we'll do some more analysis on that later. We'll have a look at some of the other videos we've caught since. Still investigating it, of course. And try to collect more evidence. So 29th was one. Okay. Which one was it? Light on. Okay. Let's have a look at that one. So it was 29th. Can't see any movement in any of them. Let's just turn it up. Still got my old clock up at the wall here. You can't see anything on it though. Maybe you can see the time if you're lucky. But the new one's got a backlight on it and you can dim it down. So I'll leave it on the lowest setting. And it's really easy to see in the dark then. So again, it's been happening between odd times. So it's always between 8 and 11. Always happens in that time frame. Well, there you go, it comes on by itself. I didn't hear anything. It's right at the end of the video too. Any movement that we're missing? Can't see any dust particles, no weirdness, no bugs. Let's come on there. No sound. I think the sound has to be a certain level before a trigger on the microphone on the camera. Yeah, I might have to look at a better camera. suppose I could use a phone, but yeah, I suppose I could. I got a new phone, might be better. It does, oh yeah, it doesn't do 4K. It does 1080p though. Need lots of money for different phones. Different cameras as well. Shame about my LG one, that did 4K. And now it won't connect to the Wi-Fi, so I can't even use that for camera, but maybe I'll keep playing around with it. But the more you play around with these things, the more grey hairs you get. Frustration. Yeah, so light comes on there. This time my dad has a play with it to try and turn it off. Doesn't know how it works and walks away. He sees it on. I'll just play a wee bit clip on it. He walks past. Starts looking at, trying to investigate it. So you can see the door's closed this time. That was the experiment I was doing. And now I've got this clock up here, and you can see what temperature and humidity is. Oh, that's where Dad opens the door and thinks, what's going wrong with it? He's a skeptic, by the way, and he's an electronics engineer. So I'm not sure if I can get that here, but you can see smaller numbers underneath. So it's 16 degrees at the moment, and it looks like 47% humidity, right? So yeah, is Gabber here? Gabber, are you there? Are you listening live? I think I can see him. Can I see him? No, that's his chair. You're blind as hell, Paul. Okay. I hate how they've got that there now. I'm going to have to do some more mods on it. I forget that some of us want to run it in small windows and want to be able to turn all that crap off. We don't want all that overlays and speed. Look, on a big screen it's good, but on a small one it's useless. Anyway, let's carry on. That's what I mean. Next time you run something, because it does an update, right? Okay, so the door has got a little centimeter gap in it. The humidity is 47. So I thought maybe could it be moisture? So it's only just got to 47 and 16 or 15 degrees. There it is in the room, which is pretty cold for a house room in New Zealand. Outside it's like obviously 5 degrees or 8 degrees at the moment. There you go. Turns on. So again, just don't see anything else happening. Would be good to see some orbs or stuff, you know. Hey, who's this? How's it going? Yeah, I'm just running through some more captures of the lights going on. Trying to figure it out. Some days it doesn't turn on, some days it does. And I'm just trying to think, well, now I've got a new clock. I'm going to check temperature and humidity in the room at the time. But yeah, I thought, well, 47% humidity was the magic number, where moisture builds up on the circuit board or something. So yeah, just play that one again. So I got this new clock up here. We can look at that stuff, and it matches up the time almost on the wall, slightly out a few seconds, 30 seconds or something. So it's saying there 16 or 15 degrees, so not too sure. I think it's 15, and 47 humidity. So I thought if that comes on every day when it hits that on the readings on that clock, because it would be like a consistent thing, even if it's plus or 1 degree out, or plus or minus 5% out on humidity, because I don't know how accurate these Chinese ones are. So yeah, there's no dust or anything. Okay, no sounds being picked up. As I said, it's obviously got a cutout on audio. So once it goes above what they call it, noise gate. So once it goes above the background noise, it starts recording. So that would be bang noises, voices. And talking about that, I just heard noises, so it means that Gabber's back.
Alright, I'm back.
Yeah, unfortunately they've modified this so now it sticks your stupid name tag over your face. Yeah.
Should I log back in with just G? Oh my god.
You see what it does?
Can't move that?
Yeah. I can
What do you do that
edit.
for?
I can do hacks. I don't know, because they think everybody's going to run it on full screen, right? On full screen, it's all right, right? But in the past, you could hide all that. Yeah, I don't know if there's any settings for it. Like I said, I haven't run it for
profile. I
Does
can
it come up
change
with-
it to G. I can change it to G.
Yeah, just have a letter G stuck on your head.
That's just horrible.
No, what
That's
you
horrible.
do is just angle your camera down a wee bit. Can you do that? Maybe that'll sort it out. There we go. Oh no. Smacking the damn.
Enable
Yeah.
meeting screen. Self view. Sound calendar moderator.
What you have to use is element hider to get rid of it. Yeah, even if I make it
a
bigger
dot.
that way.
I put a dot.
There you go.
Fucking. Well
It's still black though.
it
looks like you.
big dot square on me.
It looks like you're in witness protection.
I'm on witness protection.
Actually-
This program is horrible. I can't believe they put that over. They put that over your name.
They even made the icons bigger. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's a setting to turn it off.
I'm looking.
They keep adding stuff to it, you see. You can't say use such and such version. Let's see. Share video, select background. It should be overlays or something, shouldn't it, really?
There should be an option to take that off.
Yeah, it should be. What's this one?
There is no option.
You had a quick look?
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll probably have you on full screen anyway. Are you able to draw on your screen in real time? You should be able to share your screen, you see. Draw what you saw and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We'll come to that in a minute. I'm just going through just the latest evidence on the videos here on the ghosts while we were waiting. And of course, one that happened today. So that was June June 30th, and then suddenly nothing happens. Was it 31st? Is it 31st? Is there a 31st June? Well, it didn't happen for a day or two anyway, and then I caught this one here, which is today. I didn't go to bed till 6 a.m, and I thought, oh, it probably won't come on this time. Damn me, it did. Still come on. So I left the door open again this time, because it didn't matter if the door was closed or not. Now I was just looking at the humidity on my clock up the wall there, and it looks like it might be 15 and 44 degrees humidity this time. Last time it was 47. When it clicked to 47, the light come on. But yeah, well, it could be 14 and a half. It's a bit hard to tell. Not quite 15 degrees maybe. It's pretty cold in the room anyway, especially for us Kiwis and Australians that used to 23 being cold. So it'll come on in a minute. There you go. And I just can't explain, I can't work it out. So obviously it can't be humidity that's the problem, because it should always come on constantly with the same humidity. V, off the coast of Southern California. We got some chats on the side. Drew B, hi, how's it going? What else we got down the side here? Gabber is going to talk about his stuff in a minute, and then we'll come back to the ghost stuff again. Did you go? Did you what? Did you guys what? See the footage. What footage? Off the coast or... No, you're talking about the flares. Yeah, I'll probably cover that sometime. Did you guys see the footage that the CIA released off the coast of Sokol? Are you talking about the flare video? No, it's definitely 100% flares. It was captured on all sorts of different angles. But anyway, if that's the one you're talking about. Red lights over the sea, was it? Parachute flares. They don't burn more than 5 minutes. The video doesn't even last that long, and the lights go out. Anyway, I'll be covering that in a minute. Gabber's going to talk about his UFO experiences, and his mum's, I guess. Just come back to that ghost stuff. I'll just minimize it out of the way. Yeah, so I was just talking about this frame here, analysed. I was looking at it here, it kind of looks like a lion's head. Look, see that? Do you see a lion's head? You know, a female lion. Do you see that lion head there? Or a face of someone? Pareidolia? You see it better when you're slightly further away, I guess. So that was the orb that was going up here. It's leaving like a whispery trail, which I've never seen dust do. You've seen ghost orbs before, haven't you? But it was moving quite fast, so I suppose long exposure would create a trail effect, wouldn't it? But yeah, how come we're not picking up more dust in the room if and this one happens? It doesn't look like a bug, does it? It doesn't look like a moth. Robert Farmer, he said, oh, you caught a moth. Doesn't look like a fly. Doesn't look like a fly. Doesn't look like a moth to me. And that was very hard to amplify upwards, you know. Anyway, let's say paranormal's connected to alien visitation anyway. Do you have paranormal? You didn't talk about your story, but have you had paranormal with your aliens? When you've seen aliens in the past? Did you have paranormal at all, Gab?
It was paranormal when I was at my mum's house, because the whole house like turned into like Egypt.
What's that in front of the camera? A cat's tail?
Cat, yeah, that's my cat.
He wants to get into show, doesn't he?
Yeah, he wants to be on. He wants to be a YouTube star. Yes. Everyone loves cat videos. Why aren't you filming me and putting me on your channel? You are on my channel. I filmed you in infrared.
You know what's funny? I was talking about seeing the line, and here you got a damn cat picture on the window. It looks a bit like what I was showing. Behind you there. Okay, cool. Okay, so where do you want to begin? At the beginning, I guess. How many years back? At the beginning, how many years ago?
This was like 2011. This was like 2011. I was at my mum's house, and
that wasn't that long ago.
No, it was like 11 years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty recent. Pretty recent experience then. Yep.
And I was cooking dinner, and I went upstairs, and I saw fairy lights. You know, fairy lights.
Yeah.
I call them fairy lights because they look like little fairies flying around, like little glow bugs.
Yeah, little like Christmas lights that blink off and on.
Yeah, but they were flying outside the window. I ran upstairs, and where the vertical blinds are, there's a gap, and you can see the window from the second story, right where the front door is. There was these lights, and they were like all flying around. And I live 50 meters from the ocean, so there's no glow bugs because of the salt spray. And I was like, oh my God, there's fairy lights. I ran back downstairs, went to get my phone, my camera, and my ex-girlfriend was there. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, there's fairy lights. I saw fairy lights outside the window. I'm going to go film them. And she screamed at me, you're not going to disrespect the fairies by recording them on your phone. And I was like, get out of here. I can take pictures of whatever I like. You can't tell me what I can and can't take pictures of. So I ran back upstairs, and the fairy lights were gone. I'm like, okay then. So I thought I'll try and catch the fairy. I can't try and catch the fairies if they come back. I'll try and catch them. I'll go like 007. I'll do like a spy camera. So I put my phone. It was like a Nokia N8. Did like 720p video.
Yeah.
I put it up on the kitchen bench, and I had it recording the whole kitchen and the window and everything. I said, I'll just leave that there. Just leave it and record. The fairies won't know it's there. If they come back again, I'll capture it. So I went and cooked dinner. We went outside to have a cigarette on the veranda after dinner, and nothing. I don't remember.
What city was this in?
This was in Jervis Bay, New South Wales, south coast, southeastern coast of New South Wales.
So it's quite near the coast. Okay.
Yeah, I was like 50 meters from the beach.
Right. So that might have an impact on on your experiences out there. And they say UFOs come from the water. They say UFOs come from the water, don't they? So
I've seen a lot of UFOs since I was young, because our view is basically all the way to New Zealand, 1,200 kilometers, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of UFOs out of the water, like they look like they come out from the water and then fly inland.
Yeah. So
I looked at the video that I took, and when I looked at the video, I found another person in the room, in the video, and I was like, I don't remember talking to anyone. And like you look in the video, and like we've had dinner, we go through the vertical blinds to step onto the veranda, which looks over the entire bay. That's why I always see a lot of stuff, because I can see it straight over the horizon to New Zealand. Yeah. And as we walk back in from the veranda, there's this 7-8 foot tall lampshade head alien looking down at us, and we're looking up at us, and we're like having a conversation in the video.
All right.
And like it had like a lampshade head, like hat, with steps that look like, like an Aztec pyramid. And I've searched all over the internet. For lampshade hat, lampshade head alien. I've never seen anything about it. I told this story on Brucey's All channel, and one of
these aliens, or just normal?
I couldn't tell its facial features. It's like it's had a black mask, like a shadow person or something.
Oh, okay.
And or the hat was like part of a mask, so like you couldn't tell facial features or mouth or nose or eyes or anything. It had like a veil, and it had like a black.
Sounds like
black
Ned
cloak.
Kelly. Sounds
a bit like Ned Kelly, but he was a lot taller than Ned Kelly because I'm nearly 2 meters tall. I'm very tall, and I was looking up, and we were both talking to it. We were having a conversation in the video, but I got no memory recollection of it whatsoever. No memory.
Okay.
And like when I paused the video, I'm like, "What the hell? Where did this thing come from?" So I paused the video and ran some I didn't even have to run filters. Did not have to run filters on it. When I paused the video, where the ceiling was for the dining room, it was like a Grim Reaper. There was a full Grim Reaper in the ceiling with the scythe. There was a Grim Reaper, and then
this is in the video. You're saying
this is it? This is in the video while we're standing there having a conversation with this 8 foot tall lampshade head being.
Right.
That's
kind of freaky.
Grim Reaper in the ceiling, and then on the left hand side is where the kitchen sink is. Sink, microwave and kitchen cupboards. On the left hand side, all of that turned into like brickwork, like that you would see inside a pyramid, like in Egypt, for instance. It had
large
like brickwork,
bricks or small bricks,
like big, large stone bricks.
Okay.
And there was 2 greys, the oval head with the big almond-shaped eyes on a 45 degree angle.
All of this in the video.
Yep. And so there was two greys just standing there looking at us.
Yeah.
There was a jackal, the Egyptian gods of the underworld.
Yeah.
There was a jackal in the video, and then there was where the brickwork was with the stonework. It was like in a circle, and there was like a blue diamond crystal with a blue flame coming off it.
That sounds very Egyptian, because even the Grim Reaper, they've got a Grim Reaper in their character set, with the dog head. No, is it a dog head? And he has a big sickle. Maybe I didn't bring it up on video. So if you got this on video, you would have like a multi-million-dollar smoking gun video that you could sell to all the TV shows out there.
I know.
And
I put it on. Well, it was on my computer on 2 hard drives. Someone broke into my house, stole my computer. I got my computer back, but they took the hard drive. I had it backed up onto an external.
That's very common. People that start reporting UFO sightings. Does anyone else know about the UFO sightings? That they have breakers now, the stuff stolen out the house.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Did you tell anyone online and stuff?
Online? No.
Yeah. So only your mum knew about it. You and your mum. Haven't even shown my mum because she was still in grief from my younger brother dying in a car accident, and I never really showed my mum. Right. Okay. It's very strange. And of course, someone broke in and stole the only evidence you've got.
I had it backed up. I had it backed up onto a Seagate 4 terabyte external drive.
Yeah.
That I had locked away in the safe.
Right.
And I've moved house 2 times, and then when I got it and plugged it in, it never turned on, and I ripped the hard drive out of the enclosure.
Yeah.
and just tried to plug it straight into a hard drive, and it doesn't turn on. It's just like it's got something mechanical. It just doesn't turn on. Like I need to do It's gone there. It's just like just won't turn on. No,
Right.
it's like it's something mechanical. I don't know. Like I never used it. I just used it to back up. I'd back everything up to it, and then I'd put it in the locked up out of the way.
Yeah.
So it never even got any use. It never even got any use.
Right, yeah, I've had that happen to my ones too. But the information will still be on the minute discs. You just what can specialists do? They can actually put it in a clean room, pull it all apart, and put those platters into a new drive circuit board and motor, and they can actually get access to that information again.
That's what I'm going to have to do to scrub the data off that hard drive. That's going to cost me like $1,500.
Unless it's a serious head crash where it scratches all the platters. Did it make any funny scratching noises or?
Never made a noise. Never made a noise.
So that sounds like a dead circuit board. You could probably get that working for probably $20.
Yeah.
Or just buy another similar drive and swap the circuit boards over. They're quite easy to do. But yeah, to open up the drive though, it's got special gas in it. I think. I think
It's got helium in there or something, or some weird strange gas.
Yeah.
Or
It's got
xylium or something weird in there.
Yeah, it'll have something in there. But yeah, so Egyptian sounds very Egyptian. There's that thing. Okay, it's going to clear up a wee bit.
Because when my brother died, we've had lots of paranormal experiences. Like,
Yeah.
when I went out,
Hang on.
I got.
Hang on. Let's have a look at the Egyptian thing first. If I can spell it. What is it? Egyptian characters. I just want to have a look at that Grim Reaper dude. I can't even see what I'm typing. That looks right though, doesn't it? Characters. I'm not sure if you can call them characters.
With the scythe. With a scythe.
Yeah, here we go. Let's bring them
One's
up.
with a scythe.
Images. Okay, here we go. That's a good collection. Got small though. Let me just zoom in. There we go. So you got the eagle head one. You got some really funny looking ones, don't you? But none of them's got the sickle there. I know they got a sickle one, haven't they? I know I've seen it. Is it the Underlord for the sun god or whatever it is?
Ra,
yeah. See, there's that dog head one. I'm sure he's the one.
Is that jackal? Yeah, that's what the jackals look like. There was a jackal just sitting there, looking, going, "Hello, what are you doing?"
Alright. I'm sure there's a sickle one there. Give us a circle. What's that? None of those ones. Egyptian lampshade heads. I wonder if there's any in here. Apart from that one there. Cone heads.
I've only heard my mother talk about the lampshade head story when I was younger, and my friends had a UFO alien meeting experience where they drew pictures and put them on the fridge, and I asked them about when they were like 17 or something, and I asked them about their experience. Some people that I knew very, very, very well. I slept at their house more than I slept at my own mother's house. That's how well I knew them. And I asked them about their experience, and they said, "Yeah, we met the alien with the lampshade head." And I was just like, "What?" My mum talked about this, and like, and the only other time is I got a comment from when I spoke about it on an interview on another channel, and the person said something about in the comment they said something about one of their friends talked about lampshade head alien or something, but I can't find any information on the internet apart from just other people's eyewitness. testimonies. But my friends, they said they saw it. They saw a cigar-shaped UFO floating over the forest, and then they met the alien with the lampshade head and the big cloak, and they drew their experience. They drew the lampshade head alien, they drew the cigar-shaped UFO, and they put it on their fridge. Because I went up to their house and I went, "What's this cigar you drew on the fridge?" They go, "Oh, that's the UFO I saw." "Oh yeah, tell me about it." And they told me about the story. And they go, "What's this guy with the lampshade hat on his head?" "Oh, that's the alien we met." There was a bunch of 3 girls that lived there, and they lived right up the top of the mountain, and behind their house was basically the forest, all the way up to the Great Dividing Range, just forest,
Right.
all national park. And I was like, "So you saw a cigar shape?" "Yeah, it was flying across the tree line, and then the alien came into our house, and we were talking to the alien." And I asked them lots of questions, and I know when these girls are lying. I know exactly when they're lying or when they're making something up. I know every time they lie. I can always pick their lies when they're talking, and I always put them on the spot, and they start laughing at me. But when I asked them about this, I couldn't find any holes in their story whatsoever. I was just like, I think to me, they were telling the truth, and that's the experience that they had. They weren't making it up whatsoever. And like for the 20 years, after that I've known them for, I've never known them to make up a story about anything. They've always been very, very honest with everything they talk about, like their character.
Yeah. Are you able to move the microphone just slightly away from your face too much? Because I think it might be
Too loud?
too loud. Yeah.
I'll bring the volume down in the app.
I think it's crackling. On my headset it is anyway, but it's probably all right.
All right.
On Google site.
How is it now?
That sounds
better?
better, I think.
Okay,
Yeah. How's it? What's these guys talking about in the side chat? We're not even looking at UFOs at the moment. We're talking about UFO stories and what you would call it, not abductions exactly, but contactees, I guess. The Egyptians did have a lot of lampshade type headdresses, though, didn't they?
Like I have no memory. Of this experience. Just watching the video, I'm like, when did I talk to this 8-foot tall lampshade head being?
Yeah.
I've never had a memory. I could never remember it. I try to remember back to that time, to a memory, but there's nothing there. It's like my memory's deleted. I can't recall the memory, but I got the video of it, so like it must have happened, but I can't remember it.
Yeah. Let's see. Lamp. Let's see. Sickle was trying to look for. Sickle. Okay, so there's a sickle here. Picture of. So someone must have it. Here we go. We've got a dude with a sickle. He's got a horny head on him. Looks like a jackal, doesn't it? That's a jackal guy with a sickle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the jackal guy with the sickle.
Yeah.
It could be the same. It could be the same. Could be the same sort of picture for the same person, just from a different culture.
No, he's got the staff in one hand and the sickle in the other. There's another one there. Look, but he's a regular warrior, dude. See, he kind of looks like he's got a lampshade on him. It
hasn't got the steps though. It had steps that came down on each side, like distinct steps.
Steps on the helmet? You mean it sort of come down like that? Probably have to draw it.
I could draw it. I'd have to draw it with my drawing program.
Right. Well, you can your hand draw it. I'll just bring up plank.net. If you want to submit stuff for the channel to review, and if it's any good, we'll show it to the people. You have to join a Discord group and post it there. So, let's draw a lampshade head. Is it going to go? Is it going to go? Have I got the right one? Yep. So, lampshade head. So, it come down like this. It's running a wee bit slow because I've got the chat going. So, you're saying it had distinct step like that?
So I'll Discord it to you. I'll send it to you in a DM.
You can do it live on your screen if you want to.
Yeah.
Try sharing.
Screen.
Let's have a look. Full screen. That's what I was drawing. Oh, right. So it wasn't actually really a lampshade head. That was more oriental, doesn't it? Well, that worked alright, didn't it? The sharing.
Yeah.
Doesn't put you on the screen at the same time, though, does it? No. Yeah. And that one had, you couldn't see the eyes, so it was like a mask on, you said.
You couldn't see facial features. That was just all black. That was all black, and he had a black long cloak on, like
Yeah.
like in Star Wars Jedi or the Sith, how they just a huge black cloak.
So you reckon it was actually a mask, or just like a cotton thing over the face?
Hard to tell because I didn't analyze it because there was so much going on in the photo.
Right.
But like it just looked like a veil or a mask or something covering his face, so you couldn't see his face.
Right. I'll just close that down. Speed it up again. Let's see how slow it lags it. I have to get a better computer like you've got. Yeah, so does sound like could be Asian related, couldn't it? Or Mayan. Let's have a look at Mayans, shall we? Or Aztec. Something like that, eh? Mayan headdresses. Let's have a look. See, I got this idea that opposite of Egypt would be maybe Australia, actually. Maybe you got there's a portal that goes from Egypt all the way to Australia. There's a program that tells you.
Yeah, I think there's portals going all across this planet that we don't know about. Ancient ways to travel from one side of the planet to the other side of the planet. Old technology. I think it's just ancient technology we've lost, under the sea. Deserts and jungles have grown over. We've just lost all that technology as people have left and gone off somewhere else.
Because that headdress looked very much like a Mayan temple, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked like a Mayan temple.
Yeah. But the headdresses are bird-orientated by looks of it for the Mayans.
They're more feather-orientated, like.
Or demons. So that's a massive headdress. Talk about having a neck ache, and he's got some shrunken heads on the ends as well. What that one's got on? Feathers carved into rock. See, there's a Mayan temple there. This kind of that sort of shape, isn't it?
Yeah. But their headdresses are all feathery and they come out like a palm tree.
Yeah. Someone that studies ancient cultures probably would know, you know. Shame we don't have anyone in our group that's into that sort of stuff. You know, it's the sort of thing. Here we go, look. There it is there. And it is a headdress, isn't it? Mayan head dress. There you go. I found it. There you go. It's mine. So, but you know, if you ever watched my Egyptian airships documentary that I made, I found that the crosswinds were straight from Egypt to South America, Central and South America. Stock photos. So is that a real Mayan headdress though? You know,
I think someone's just made a logo with the temple.
possibly, or maybe they've seen a picture, artifacts, and sort of drawn it. What's that one got on there? Leopard skin, is it? Right. Couldn't quite see. I'll just be zooming in and out because my eyes are not that great. Oh, what happened there? Indians. What's that one there? So that's more looking like a bloody German helmet, that one. Well, it's got some more here. Set stock images again. Right, image stock. Different place though. Adobe.com it says here, isn't it? So maybe we need to find a photograph of the actual artifact then. If it's real. Have you done any research into this? It's you know, like I'm doing now. In the past.
I've tried looking up lampshade head alien, and I can't find anything. I've spent like hours and hours searching. I can't find anyone else comment or story or picture or drawing.
I wouldn't say it was really a lampshade head though. I'd say it would be alien with a pyramid hat on. We'll search that in a minute.
Pyramid hat.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm searching the wrong word.
Or Mayan temple or something like that, you know.
Because my mum had an alien abduction experience when she was young. She got taken up into a ship when she was out in Finland, out in the fields in the farm. My Finnish side of my family are farmers.
Right.
And she doesn't remember the experience. She doesn't want to remember the experience. She was terrified. She was scared. It was not a good experience. She doesn't want to recall it.
Right.
But she told me she used to get visited at night time. She'd be like paralytic in bed, and she couldn't move. She couldn't talk. Couldn't scream.
No. Yep.
My dad would be next to her, and he couldn't move either. And these blue orbs, circle blue orbs, would fly into the room, and she would get visited by these blue orbs. And she said she saw an alien with that lamp shade pyramid head hat on.
And that's your fairies, right? Exactly the same thing. So they haven't formed into the blue orbs yet. They start off with
they're like they start transitioning and getting closer and closer, and then they get the portal open, and they come into your room, bang, straight into your house.
Yeah, that sounds like the portals open, and you're gradually starting to see some of the light break through, and then they probably would have been blue, and then into full figures, right?
See, from seeing the fairy lights to the being just walking into the house could have been 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe an hour at tops.
See, there's a hat.
I'm saying half an hour. Half an hour to 40 minutes at most, probably, because I cooked dinner in 20 minutes, ate dinner, and then had a cigarette, so like 40 minutes at most.
Right.
I did have not long after that, I saw a UFO out at sea. I went on the veranda to have a cigarette, and I saw a UFO, and I thought, oh, look at that light. That's not a star. It's too bright to be a star. So I got the camera out, and I propped it up on the rail, and I zoomed in, and when I zoomed in with the Nokia phone, it wasn't a light. It was 3 balls of light spinning around a central object, like the atom symbol, the nuclear atom symbol. It was like 3 balls of light, and they were spinning around a central object that I couldn't see with the camera. And I was filming it, and my ex-girlfriend was yelling at me, going, "You can't film this! Quick!" Got scared and paranoid. "Quick, come inside the house!" I go, "No, I'm going to sit here and film the UFO. Go away. You go inside." And eventually, she kept screaming, and carrying on, and getting scared about the UFO. Well, it's just a UFO. Who cares? I'm not scared of it. What if the alien comes out? Hello, would you like a cup of coffee? You're hungry? The fridge is there. Like, help yourself. Like, what do you need? I don't get scared about stuff like that. Eventually, I went inside just to shut her up. I filmed it for a bit, 10 minutes, and we went inside. And then it started heading towards us. It started heading directly towards us, and she went panic mode, went crazy. "Get inside the house now! That UFO's coming for us." It goes, "So what? There's nothing we can do. It's going to get us, wherever we go. It doesn't matter where you go or what you do. You might as well just sit here." Anyway, she's screaming and carrying on. I went inside to stop her carrying on with that panic attack. We went downstairs, and 1 or 2 minutes later, the whole house started shaking, and there was this noise, like a humming noise, like a generator. There's generator, electrical crackling, humming. It was like directly over our house. I was like, I should have stayed out there and kept filming it. Why did you make me come in the house?
Oh, right. Can you stop sharing your desktop? Because I think it's chewing up a wee bit of bandwidth here. Unless you're going to draw more stuff, of course. To switch in between it.
Let me get to the window.
You're starting to crackle up a wee bit then. Because I think it takes more bandwidth. It takes more bandwidth.
Stop sharing. Allow it to use your camera. I've got to change this setting.
Yeah, there we go. So you're getting the hang of it. Good program though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you got to remember it's peer-to-peer and it's encrypted, so there's no government or anything in between. There's no server caching it or recording it. So here you go.
That's all right.
Here's your lights in Norway. It's up that
Aurora.
No, these are UFO blue orbs.
Blue orbs.
Yeah, that your mum saw. You said Finland.
She's. No, these are the orbs she sees in Australia. She sees them in Australia when she's sleeping in her house, sleeping in her bedroom. They come and visit her.
Yeah.
When she was young, because it was like the 60s, early 70s. You know how they had what's it called, Lost in Space, and all the spaceships stuff. She was like, I want to meet aliens. I want to see who they are. So she used to go out in the field in the middle of the night and meditate, and like, aliens come visit me, come see me. I want to see the aliens. I want to see the UFO.
Yeah.
And she said, one night it was snowing, so it's minus 30, minus 40 degrees Celsius in Finland. It was snowing, and she said she found herself. She was sleeping, and all of a sudden she was walking with no shoes on through the snow.
Yeah.
And there was a big disc, like circle metallic disc above the farm field, and then a light came out, and then she started going up.
I wish I could see something like
the light. Yeah,
I've seen aliens, but I haven't seen the ships.
Yeah,
I want to see I want to see the ships.
Yes, so they put the tractor beam on her, and they started sucking her up towards the ship. And as she got halfway towards the ship, she freaked out, and she freaked out, and she didn't want to go with the aliens. She thought it was a bad situation, or there were negative aliens or something. And she's no, I don't want to go with you. She freaked out. Put me back down. This is not the right thing to do. And then she lost her memory after that, and can't remember what happened. They turned the memory off.
This was a NASA experiment, this one. That's not the orbs I was looking for. There are orbs that happen over that way, Sweden and all that sort of stuff. White and blue orbs. But I was just having a look through, see what we could find. And
the first time I took a picture of a UFO was by accident when I was about 13 or 14.
Yeah.
When we were living in Sydney, we went up to Eastwood, and like there's a golf course down the bottom, and like a stormwater drain and a park. We went right up to the top of the cliff to eat some KFC. And I took a picture of the family. I took a picture of the family with this, Sydney skyline behind. It's like 20-minute drive, 20-minute drive in the city, the Sydney skyline and that. And then years later, I looked at the photo, and you can see a disc-shaped object, like similar to like what the Nazi UFOs look like that they say the Nazis had in the 40s. That metallic, dark grey metallic disc shape with a little like disc dome. Shape with a little dome on the top. Yeah, like that typical shape. And I had the photo of it, and it's in my mum's photo album, and I like tried to put it away, and like there's like tens of thousands of photos of there. Trying to find it is a nightmare.
Yeah.
That was the first time I took
for some reason.
You got loud again. Let me check.
I think you're just getting excited. That's all.
I'm just getting excited telling my story. I think.
Yeah, it's good. I know you're fading. You got to be careful because it'll cut out with the what do you call it, the noise gate.
See, I'm Greek. I'm a wog. When we talk about stuff, we get excited, and our volume goes up straight away.
I'll just check it here anyway. Because it'll come out really bad in Google otherwise. Yeah, carry on.
Like right now, I just feel like my body feels like I'm on fire. It's like someone put a heater on me, and it's freezing cold out here. It's like 4 degrees Celsius wind chill factor.
You're sort of cutting out. You're going loud, but you're still cutting out. It's kind of weird.
I'm cutting out.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Let me look at the audio.
I always find it better.
My audio, my vid.
No, it's not working very well.
My VU meter says the signal's clear, but I've dropped it by like 25%. The input.
Ah, right. Sometimes I find it's better to move your microphone side of your head, an inch away.
Yeah.
Rather than muck around with the technical side of it.
Like another paranormal experience was when my younger brother died. I was outside the front of my mum's house. I had a cigarette, and as I was walking back into the house, I had his car, which was just parked to my left hand side, and from the corner of my eye, from my peripheral vision, I could see him sitting in the back seat of the car, like a perfect image of him, and he looked like Casper the Ghost. You know Casper the Ghost?
Yeah.
He looked like Casper the Ghost, like that light grey, smoky, but a perfect figure of him. He was just sitting in the seat, and I walked past. My eyes were like, you know how you turn your eyes left and right? My eyes were like all the way left, looking at this as I walked all the way past. I didn't want to turn my face in case it just made him disappear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I saw him walking all the way past. I was just like, oh my God, he's still here. He was just sitting in the car. And like every time I used to drive the car, it always used to feel like he was sitting behind me looking what's going on. Like he was always there. That always felt like a presence there. Yeah. And I used to like if my ex would like do a recording on the phone, or I would do a recording, you'd play it back, you could hear a static electric voice in the background of the recording all the time. You know that electric voice?
Yeah.
And another time my mum was sitting on the veranda with my mum, all three of us together. My mum was talking about spirituality and my brother and the dead and stuff, and like I saw this light with like sparkly stuff coming off it, flying around the house at warp speed around the entire house while my mum was talking. I'm just sitting there going,
it's like one of those fireworks sparklers. Is that how would you say it? But
it's like a big ball of light with like, you know, fireworks sparklers coming off it, and it was like spinning around the house at top speed, and I was just like,
all right.
What?
I don't think it's ball lightning, because ball lightning apparently moves slow. But you know, I was talking about Finn's sighting, where he said these blue orbs appeared in the sky, and they had like sparkles, but they weren't quite as long as a normal sparklers. If you could crop the sparkler effect, they had all these little sparkles coming off it, but they weren't very long. I'm just wondering if that's what you saw. Exactly the same thing. He said that was then opened up into it changed into a TR3B in the sky. I'm not sure if you listened to.
I think this was just my brother. My brother's still in the afterlife coming. Well, because my mum was sitting there full on talking about him, going, "No, he's still here with us. I talk to him all the time, talking all this psychic stuff." And then this happened right in front of me, the ball of light spinning around the house. And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's probably him going, yep, listen to mum. She knows what she's talking about." Another time, around the same time again, my next door neighbor, a young kid, beautiful kid. He had a very religious parents, and like this kid I'd do anything for this kid. He'd never wouldn't harm an ant, never harmed anyone. He would always go out of his way to help people. He was a top kid, top bloke, had a really good heart. He ended up being the head mechanic. He was the head mechanic of the local council. He was only like 24 years old, 23, 24. He was the head mechanic for the whole council, did all their trucks, everything. He was brilliant. Brilliant mind.
Right.
He crashed his Commodore into a kangaroo. The kangaroo smashed the left-hand wheel, collapsed it. He went straight into a tree a kilometre from home. We have to go through a forest and farms to get into the main town. So we always got kangaroos everywhere. He went straight into a tree, and he had a nitrous bottle in the boot and just incinerated him.
Oh no, that's terrible.
And one of our best friends, Rob, he witnessed it. He was 3 cars behind. They pulled up. They knew exactly who it was. He ran in there. He's opening the door, trying to get the seatbelt off to pull him out, getting burnt, and everyone like pulled him off him.
Oh no,
saying no, you're gonna get yourself burnt. To get him out, like he probably could have got him out. He would have got burnt doing it, but he might have saved him. But everyone like dragged him off. They said, "Don't." Yeah. He's gone. Just like.
Yeah.
Anyway, we lost a really good person that day, and I was on the veranda again, having a cigarette, and I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was dead. It was I looked at the clock on when he had the accident. It was at the exact time he had the accident, and I was just sitting on the veranda having a cigarette, and I felt a presence near me because after my brother's death, I always feel the hairs on your skin, on your arm, crop up, and you just got that feeling that someone's watching you or someone's right there next to you. Something. Mm-hmm. When that happens, I get my camera out and I just turn it around and I just go snap, 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 smile, snap, 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 snap. Like I do it all the time, and I usually capture something doing that. And then when I didn't think much of it. I looked at the photos the next day. I found out my next door neighbor died. I bawled my eyes out for 2 hours straight. I just lost it. And I looked at the photos, and like you see me standing there, puffing on the cigarette, smiling, and there's this pink energy, fluorescent, bright, like holographic, fluorescent pink cloud of energy, and it's like got its arm around me, like that, like it's somebody I know. And I never really got photos. Sometimes I got weird photos like that with my brother, but I was like, and you see me smiling there with this pink energy, like around me, like it's got its arm around me, and then it's like 5-6 frames of photos, and you can sort of the cloud of energy gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and then flies into his mother's front yard, into the magnolia tree, this tree that flowers. Flies into the tree inside at the front of his mum's house, and that tree it only like supposed to flower in early spring or something, and the flowers go away. Ever since after that tree would flower all summer,
Right.
till like the end of autumn when it's not supposed to flower. We just noticed the flowers should not be on there.
Right. Interesting. So,
I had the photos of that.
Yeah,
That's on that external hard drive. I've got everything on there. I got photos because a year of photos after my brother died with hundreds of orbs, blue, and usually wherever I am, I'll be there. And if I'm smiling, having a good time, you'll see this bright blue orb like on my shoulder, like this big. Sometimes I got ones that are like this big, just sitting there, these blue orbs. And when I try and analyze it with some filters.
Yeah, but you should better still take those today, even, and it'll still be there, though, wouldn't it?
That's why I don't take photos anymore, because the blue orbs keep turning up all the bloody time.
Well, yeah, it's not exactly investigating if you don't do it though.
I'm used to the blue orbs. Like if I do take pictures, and I do have a couple now where I'm having barbecue, and you'll see blue orbs flying around the backyard. Little blue orbs here, little blue orbs there.
Everyone says that's dust or water droplets in the air, or what else could it be?
They're perfect. They're perfect cylindrical. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot
different. It's a lot different when you got a blue orb that's this big, sitting behind you in your hallway. Like it's a lot different saying that's a water droplet. It's a big bloody water droplet.
You'd have to see it on video really to see how it acts. Dust generally has a general path, doesn't it?
I never really got any blue orbs on video, but still pictures, usually with the flash going off on the Nokia N8. I used to get blue orbs all around the place.
Yeah, but that's because you got the flash. It's illuminating dust particles right close to the lens, right? Even though you can't see it.
It's possible. It's hard to tell.
More so if it's like grains of dust, because I know Australia you get that little fine dust in the air. You don't see it, but you're breathing it in all the time. You got that red dust everywhere in Australia, and of course you get the winds that blow it right across to all the other states.
It could be an explanation for some of the blue orbs, but not the really big ones. Really big ones, impossible to say that's a dust.
Yeah,
impossible.
Yeah, not
it's actually behind you. It's actually, you can tell from the depth of the photo. You got a giant orb that's like behind you. Whereas if it was dust particle, it'd be like front. It'd be in front of you. You'd have the depth perception of the orb.
So
like when I went to
have a look at it, and.
When I went to the Anzac Memorial at night time and it was slightly raining, I took some photos and we put some flowers down for the diggers to show some respect, for fighting in the war. Yeah. And red orbs, all these red orbs turned up in the photo, bright red. And my ex was like, "Oh, if the orbs are red, they're angry spirits. We better get out of here." I was like, "All right, let's get out of here."
But you got to be careful of rolling shutter. If you move your camera just slightly, it can actually move your image over the orb, or the orb can lose half of its edge, and it looks like it's passing behind you.
True.
I've shown that on previous live shows on how you can tell whether something's got rolling shutter from motion. Someone's holding it, and it's just that slight wobble as it's. Because those old cameras are really slow at processing.
That pink energy cloud that was next to me when on the minute that my next door neighbor died, and then flew into his mother's front garden. The tree, that's not a dust particle. It's like that's not dust. I wanted to print the photos for the funeral, and give it to the parents. Going, this is some photos I took. I think it might be your son saying goodbye to me. When it's on the minute that he died, but they were very religious, and my girlfriend said you can't show that to them. They're very religious. They don't believe in stuff like that. It's only the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and I'm just like, so I didn't end up sharing the photos with him. I sort of got talked out of it.
Yeah, I could see you really emanated about it all. But yeah, it would be good to use burst mode on your camera, and
I don't know what to say. When I saw that, like, I felt the presence. I got photographic evidence of it. It captured it. I saw it moving. It went into his mother's tree in her front garden. I'm like, that's definitely him. That's definitely him. On the minute that he died, like the next minute or two after his death, I was just like,
right.
Spooky. It was like X-Files,
Yeah.
Spooky Mulder.
Were you into ghosts before then, though? Was it real on your mind, UFOs and ghosts? Or did that sort of, does only happen about 2011?
I only really got all that paranormal stuff after my brother died.
Which was the
I've
year-
always
what year
believed.
was it?
I've always.
What year
He
was
died
that?
in. He died in 2010 in a car accident.
2010.
He died. Yeah, he died.
Not that long ago then.
No, it wasn't long ago. Like, our family's
Right.
never recovered from it. We're never going to recover from it. It's something
No,
like he
no.
was young. He was younger than me. Like,
Yeah.
somebody took his life doing 170 kilometers down the wrong side of the highway through a red light. Hit him as
Yeah.
he's just turned out of the intersection. Spun his car around. The second car he hit was an old lady. Spun her car like that halfway
Yeah.
down the bloody bridge that's on the river.
Yeah.
Then he went straight through this chicken wire fence, the only corner of the river
Wow.
that doesn't have a concrete barrier to stop you
Yeah.
going into the river.
Yeah,
And he went
yeah.
straight into petrol tank exploded, and then he
Yeah.
went straight into the river. And like there was a fisherman like not far from him running over with one arm missing, jumping in the water,
Yeah.
diving in, trying to get him get the seatbelt out of the car. But every time he come up for air, he's only 3 meters down. Every time he come up from air, the
Yeah,
petrol fumes
yeah.
got him, and he couldn't breathe.
Oh, yeah.
Firemen were there in like 3 minutes. They had the masks on. The masks weren't waterproof, so every time they went down, their mask filled up with water, and it's muddy water underneath. It was
Yeah.
just a bloody disaster, and the whole town has
Yeah.
been screaming about that corner because
Yeah.
people have had car accidents and they've been like leaning over the corner, nearly went into the water and like would have died
Right.
multiple times. The council never did nothing. The council said, "Oh, it's a highway, so it's federal
Yeah.
road.
Yeah.
It goes to the federal authority, RTA." Then the RTA would say, "Oh no, that's from your bridge that goes into your town. It's a council problem." They used to throw the problem back and forth. No one would spend $4,000 on a bit of concrete. That was an engineering safety problem. There should have been concrete there at the beginning. I don't know how that bridge got approved for safety on a federal highway where 20,000 cars go past every day.
Right.
And I basically had to get on the front page of the local newspaper and say, with my strawn face going, "Why won't you spend $4,000 on some concrete to save somebody's life so this never happens ever again?" And then they did it after I put them on show in front of everybody.
Yeah.
I said, "I'll give you. You don't have enough money for $4,000 in concrete. I'll give you $4,000 for some concrete, so this never happens to another family ever again." They were like, I had to go through that emotional stress for them, mother truckers, to like have a proper safety.
Yeah.
Every other corner has a concrete barrier. That was the only corner that never had chicken wire fence. So I don't know what engineer ticked off. This bridge is safe for this year.
That's weird, isn't it? Synchronicity, maybe, in the universe.
The further I get into it, the deeper the rabbit hole gets. The council the council wanted to knock that bridge down because it's an old iron bridge, cast iron bridge.
Yeah.
They wanted to knock it down and build a new bridge, and then because the train station stops there, they wanted to continue a train track across the bridge. So a proper bridge with a train bridge, connect
Right.
the train line down to Victoria instead of having buses running back and forth. So
Right.
when I think about that, then I was just like, they were waiting for someone to die so that they can say this bridge is unsafe. We need to build a new bridge, and this is our plan. Red tape. BS, if you know what I mean. You know.
Yeah.
My dad wanted to sue the council over that, but no lawyer would pick it up. No lawyer would pick it up. They're like, no, we're not touching the council. It's just like you're putting people's lives at risk over you want to get rid of an old bridge and put a new bridge and have train infrastructure. It's just like bunch of malakas, these council people.
Lovers. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of synchronicity in UFO world like that, and paranormal. Yeah, we all have, like, I had a friend I took keys off. Remember I told that story? I'm not sure if you heard it, but he was only like just coming on to 21, and he's at university with me, and I took the keys off him so he wouldn't drive home drunk. And
I do that too. I do that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he started fighting me, and he was starting to hurt me, and I was trying to not obviously fight him back because he's drunk, but he was like an angry drunk. And he says, "Oh, I got to get to this course in the morning at 7 in the morning." And I thought, "Oh, damn," because I said you could just come home with me, and I'll take you there in the morning. But I thought, I'm just so tired. I was extremely tired, and I was putting myself first instead of him. And I should have said, yeah, no problem, just come with me, and you can just stay in our house, and then I'll take you in the morning. So what I should have said. But anyway, I said, okay, I'll give you the keys back, but go down to the university hall, which was only like a couple 100 meters down the road. And I said, we'll all meet there. And see if we could find this other guy that we're friends with that lived in university halls. Yeah, and then my other friend started another fight, and of course we all totally forgot about him going down there. And he carried on driving, unfortunately, and he ended up killing himself. Right outside where my mother was working, of all things. There's a lot of synchronicities. She was working in this place called Feltix Carpet Makers. And she used to feed the machines with spools of wool. Anyway, but yeah, basically he just crashed into a power pole. And sort of bled out. They couldn't get into him. They had to wait for the fire truck and all that. So basically he was knocked out and he was bleeding and he had all the blood going down the gutter apparently. It's disgusting. Just even talking about it. But I never ever forgave myself after that. I was thinking, why? You know, I could have saved that guy. He was always talking about how he liked to get married and have kids and all that sort of stuff. And of course none of that happened. And of course, who cares about a university course early in the morning when you're going to lose your life? Anyway, the whole thing was just ridiculous when you think about it. When you look back, you think, yeah, why didn't you just not fight me and just come with us? Because I would have dropped him off even at my other friend's house because he could have stayed with them if he wanted to. I'm sure his mum wouldn't mind because I often stayed with this other guy. Mum's house anyway when I was really drunk, so but I never drove. Whenever I was going to drink, I'd always drive the car there and then we'd get a bus or taxi
I don't drink. I never drink and drive. I just catch a taxi, leave the car there, come pick it up later.
No, we never. That's sort of that event of the friend dying just changed everybody from that point onwards. It's actually a sad story, though, but it's the same as your one, you know, and it's funny how we've met and we've had the similar stories of someone being killed in a car accident. And maybe someone that could have stopped your brother driving that night could have prevented that happening too. I don't know.
He was just going to the pizza shop to pick up a pizza. He was hungry. With his girl.
And if they weren't going to get a pizza, then that wouldn't happen. You see, it's just that matter of timing. Timing by a few minutes.
If he was a restaurant quality chef like his bigger brother, he would be like cooking up the meals at home. And wouldn't have happened. But he never got my cooking recipes. Never asked me for my cooking recipes.
Yeah, anyone can cook a pizza as long as you got the bases in the freezer. But even then, they say you can make up pizza dough quite easily. I said I haven't even gone that far. I'd rather just buy the pre-made
some,
ones.
some other UFOs I've seen when I was younger. I think the first one that I saw, I used to watch thunderstorms over the Sydney skyline.
Yeah, I used to do that in Brisbane.
I was looking. I'd sit there. I'd watch the thunderstorm for an hour or two. I just liked the lightning.
Yeah.
And one time, I saw this huge red ball with a red flame tail traveling backwards from the city heading west. And I didn't know what it was. They say there's like plasma balls or something in lightning storms.
All right.
But it had a red tail. It had a red tail, and it was like traveling like backwards really slowly, and it was huge, like up size of a large SUV, maybe a semi-trailer truck. Like, it was huge. I remember telling my mum when I saw that. I was very, very young when I saw that. Another time when I was 17 or 18.
Actually, I think I was watching something last week when I saw one of these ball ones on a video. There's a lightning storm, and you can see this big plasma ball form, exactly what you were explaining, and it was coming out and then back into the lightning storm and disappeared. So yeah, I have actually seen it on the video. It's funny you should mention that.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was. I was just explaining what I saw.
Yeah.
Another time, I went to my friend's place. He lived right up at the back where these girls lived, but further down the bush. And we jumped in his car. We were driving to town, and we've hit like the stop sign, which is the main road to go all the way into town. And we stopped because in the country we all stop at stop signs, especially at night time, because you can't judge distances with cars. We stopped, and then all of a sudden, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights in a perfect arrowhead formation rose up. And what we're looking at is farms. So our view is all farms, and then the mountain that goes up into the Great Dividing Range. Right. These 7, 9 lights in a perfect arrowhead formation rose up out of the farm field, shot straight up, and went up and around and over the top of the mountain. Like that, and we looked at each other. We're still at the stop sign. And I was like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then we spoke about what we saw, but I was just like, it had a proper flight trajectory, like rose up out of the farm field, shot up and around and over the top of the mountain, and like, no, I don't know, no idea what that was.
You reckon it was quite big then? Would you say it one object, or was it multiple objects? That you just saw the lights on one object?
I'd say multiple small objects in a perfect arrowhead formation. But how can you tell in the dark? How do you tell in the dark? But from my perception, it was multiple small objects in a perfect arrowhead formation.
You wouldn't see a craft, but you'd see the lights.
Could be the lights on the corner of the craft. If that was a craft, then it was massive. That was huge. If that was the shape of the outline of the craft, then it was enormous. Like
you say it's farmland, but that could be easier underground hangar for Air Force Base.
Well, we've always had weird stuff happen around us because we lived near 3 military bases. We had the Australia's only naval air base, and they fly nothing. They've only got a couple helicopters there, some couple Sea Kings. They used to get the Skyhawks. They sold the Skyhawks to New Zealand, the fighter jet Skyhawks. They sold them to New Zealand. Then they realized that they needed the Skyhawks for training. So then they released the Skyhawk and paid all the money to the pilots and paid for their families to relocate back to Australia so they could keep using them for training for like 2 years or something. But apart from that,
I remember that.
Never saw any planes that are out there, just the Sea Kings doing their training missions, and you'd hear them coming from a mile away. But then we had JBRF, an army bombing range on Jervis Bay, and then we had HMAS Creswell. I used to, when I was in Air Force Cadets for 7 years, so we used to go down there for bivouacs, camping for like 3 days, and doing all Air Force cadety stuff in the bush, and we went around the base. We used to do rifle training. I used to be on a rifle team. I used to do interstate rifle competitions from different RAAF Air Force bases around the country. That's where I did all my training on the HMAS Creswell. But HMAS Creswell is like a tiny base. It's got a huge grass landing strip, like for emergencies and stuff. They did the firemen training there, where like you will see flames 50 stories high, where they just pour diesel in, light it up, and they got to put out ship diesel fires. That's where they do all their training.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it's a tiny, small naval training base.
Wow.
But they wanted to put like an ammunition base there, and the greenies said you can't put an ammunition base there.
Yeah.
And we got our suspicions that they've put like a secret sub base underneath there somewhere. We got I'd look at Google Earth. Have a look at the Google Earth pictures. We got the full speculation. We love speculating. I'm like, look, this area under the beach looks like that's where the secret subs fly into underneath the base and stuff. The military, they're going to put a sub base somewhere. They're not going to tell anybody. So if they got one there, they got one there.
What kind of rocks do they have under Australia though? I don't think they have like granite like they do in America. Deserts, do they? It'd be more sandstony.
Sandstone melts like butter, though. Sandstone's easy to cut through.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. It'll keep on cutting, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And then you get sinkholes.
You can cut
I don't know if I don't think it's sandstone, Australia, because you'd get sinkholes.
Limestone.
I don't think you got sinkholes, have you, over there?
No, never hear of any sinkholes.
No, you hear about mining though, but there is kind of sandy soil. If you ever watch that series called Outback Opal Miners, you can see how it's sort of not actually rock, but it's really compacted sand and where the opals form.
Do you want to hear about the Philadelphia experiment that they did in Jervis Bay? I met the survivor from there. He told me the story.
All right.
There was this old bloke at the RSL club where I lived, right on the beach. His name was Tiger, and his face was burns and scars all over it. And my friend told me, he was part of that Philadelphia experiment. You should buy him a beer one time and ask him about his story.
Right.
So I did. I went and bought him a beer, and I said, Tiger, can you tell me about the story about what happened to you when you were young in the Navy? This would have been like after World War II. 50s or 60s. He was only 17 or something at the time, 18, 17. He said, they had an experimental naval ship, and they brought it into Jervis Bay. And he said, we had to come on board. So we all went on board the ship, and they were going to do some experiment. And he said they did an experiment. They turned the experiment on, and we were supposed to stay on board the ship and report what happened. He said the ship caught on fire. He was watching all his friends burn to death. He said his other friends were walked through the metal. He said that they became part of the walls and stuff. They started walking through the metals of the ship, like the ship changed molecular structure. And he just said, stuff this, I'm out of here. He jumped off the ship. He was one of the few that jumped off the ship. And he got his face, his whole body, 90% burns to his face and scars and stuff. He says he watched a lot of his good mates burn to death, die. He said it was a horrible experiment, horrible time. He ended up getting a pension for it and released from the Navy and stuff. And when he told me that story, I'm just like, that sounds exactly what happened at the Philadelphia experiment up in America.
Yeah. But it's just a story, though, isn't it? Because a lot of those people. It's just a story. Yeah, a lot of the people that were meant to have disappeared, apparently they're still alive, or someone tracked them down, and looked into the records that are still happily alive and living elsewhere. Probably Robert Faber knows more about the Philadelphia thing than I do, because I never really. I kind of like the sci-fi, the movie of it, and all that sort of stuff, but I never really took it seriously because if it was that easy to do, there probably would have been a lot of backyard inventors creating this field that makes solids into jelly, basically, and you fall through it.
I don't know, but where the naval base is, so where they would have done the experiment close by, there's a beach called Hyams Beach. It says it's got the whitest sand in like all of Australia or Southern Hemisphere or something. I used to think, why is the sand that white? Why is it bleached white? And then I used to go fishing on the boat right there, or swimming on the beach. And when you go swimming on the beach, there is no seaweed there. Everything is dead. It's just sand. There's nothing in that area. And and then I thought about Tiger's story, and if that was like a continuation of the Philadelphia experiment, I think the experiment has like radiated the sand white and stops all the seaweed growing. I don't know. I was just speculating. I was just thinking, why would it be so the whitest sand ever, and then why has all the seaweed died and never ever grown back? It's just really strange.
I was doing research.
The only beach on the bay that's like that.
I was doing research on big comet and asteroid impacts, and there's a few around Australia there, and all over America, Skinwalker Ranch. So that's going to do something. All that iron and God knows what else in the debris that impacts underground and in the sea even. So that's why you get these magnetic anomalies happening too.
I didn't tell you my story. The story about the alien I met in my candle.
In the what? Candle.
I was in my bedroom and I had like you know those red glass candles you have at the restaurant.
Candles, yeah.
Yeah, I had one of them sitting on my table at the far end, and I was sitting back just watching the light, and the light that came off the candle was the perfect oval grey head with that black almond eyes on a 45-degree angle, and I was like, "What's he doing in my candle?" So I started talking to it with my mind.
How big was this thing? It's in the candle.
As big as the tiger. The candle's here. The light coming off the candle formed the grey head like this, as big as a tiger.
Right.
And I sat there going, "What are you doing in my candle?" And I ended up having a conversation with it, with my mind, mental telepathic.
Yeah.
And I was only young. I was 15, 16. I just read William Cooper's Behold the Pale Horse, and I bought the communion book, Whitley Strieber's communion book. I bought that for my mum to read.
Okay.
Those were the first two books that I read about aliens and stuff. But before that, I had a 2600 BPS modem, and I used to go on bulletin board systems, BBS systems, and I downloaded all the text files and books on everything. And I used to print out. I used to print out on dot matrix paper alien books and Project Blue Book and Majestic 12 and all the original stuff. I printed all out and I made like a library of books and stuff. Yeah. And I was talking to the grey, and I was like, "What do you do here? What do you do there? How do you do this? How do you do that?" Just asking, questions like a curious kid. And then the alien said to me, "Hey, do you want to come for a ride in our UFO?" And I was like, "What? We'll come pick you up. We'll come pick you up." And I was like, "I just read like William Cooper's Behold the Pale Horse. I don't trust you. I don't think you're a good alien." It's like, no, don't worry, we'll come pick you up. And so I'm like questioning it, trying to see if he's good or not. And I was like, I didn't like it. I thought it was a deceptive, negative alien. And I was like,
he sounded like a Maori Indian, because the way you were going there, it sounded just like I could see a Maori dude in New Zealand saying that.
Don't make me do the kamate, kuyo.
No, you'll be all right, mate. You'll be all right, mate. Come. Yeah, that's how the Maori sort of talk.
I did the haka dance with a grass skirt on and a spear on a
Yeah.
Christmas party when I was in the Australian Air League for the mayor of Merrickville.
But how do you know you're not part alien? If your mother had abductions, maybe you're a hybrid.
We're just genetic experiment. I'm not a
That's
hybrid.
what you're thinking on there, isn't it?
No,
That's what you're
I'm
thinking.
proper human. I'm proper human. I know I'm not alien. I don't get no alien memories. I got no memories of a past alien life. I have nothing like that. I've got all human memories. But I think most of us are just like genetic experiments. You know, the aliens tinker with our DNA to make us better, to make us survive better. You know, to help us survive the next generation. I think they're just upgrading us with our genetics and DNA. Anyway, I was talking to this alien. He's trying to get me to agree to a meeting. We'll come pick you up in the UFO. Come with us. Come check out our UFO.
Yeah,
And
you
I
sound
was
just like a married dude saying that.
Yeah, listen, cuz. I went to the shop to get some fish and chips. I pulled out my duvet, and the alien was talking to me, cuz. Anyway, I didn't trust this alien one little bit. I've been sitting there having talking to it for like 45 minutes, an hour, and it's trying really hard to like get me to agree to. You want to come chill out with us? We'll come pick you up in the UFO. Like, look out the window. I'm like, what? Look out the window.
You weren't on any drugs or
curtains.
weed at this time, would you, by any chance?
Sober as. I pulled out
how
the
about
window,
booze?
pulled out the curtains. Didn't drink. I never drunk. I didn't drink till I was like 10, 15 years later. I never drunk when I was young. I opened the curtains.
Okay.
He goes, look up. And I looked up, and he goes, see that star there? And I'm like, yeah, I see the star. And then the star went, see? It's all right. We're up here. Maybe one, maybe two stars. Started doing this thing in front of me while it's talking to me.
How come
And
your
I'm
dots
like,
don't do that then?
My dots don't do that.
No, now you got a camera. They're not going around in circles.
I've got balls of light with rainbow colors going up, floating, and then coming down. And then when I do the photo sequence, they're going left, and then they're going right. One of my Billy videos, I filmed this ball of light for like an hour in 4K. One of my Billy videos.
How do you know it was an LED balloon though?
Because it changed direction 10 times. 10 times. It would like, and then one of the times of its directional changes, it was like going up, and it started doing this. I had to like chase it with the viewfinder. It went up so quick I couldn't even chase it with the viewfinder. And then when I finally got it in frame, it would like stop for about a couple seconds, and then when I started analyzing just some of the frames of the 4K video, you see the ball of light, and then you just see inside the ball of light triangle and hexagon and the most prominent shape inside the ball of light. I've gone through the whole video and freeze frame. The best parts were like sort of a triangle type of shape inside the middle of it, but I haven't done a full analysis. I haven't analyzed the photos with filtering and
what are you drinking
stuff like
there?
that yet. Monster Energy. Monster Energy.
That's why you got all hyped. You're living on that stuff. I had a demon.
Yeah, anyway.
Demon. I like Demon Original. That's really nice. That keeps
but the
you
alien
awake.
told me to look out the window, flew its spaceship around, and I told it, no, I don't trust you. I'm not coming. I'm not coming to visit you. I don't care about your UFO. And it stopped talking to me. And I went outside, opened the door, I went, Mum, have a look. There's an alien in my candle. My mum's like, what? My mum's like, what? She's like, looked at me like that. I said, have a look. Just come and have a look. Quick. Come and have a look, Mum. There's an alien in my candle. Quick, before he goes. My mum walks over. My son's looks over. Tears come down my mum's eyes. She saw the alien in the flame of my candle. She was just like, what have you been doing in here? Just talking to the alien in my candle, Mum. Like tears came down her eyes, and she just walked out of there and like, I'm not touching that.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Well, I haven't really told anyone that candle story. I've told like one or two people. I've never shared that
Well, you're
candle
telling
story
the
with
world
anyone.
now, but there's no one on. It's just us two.
I don't care. It's my experience. I saw it. I felt it. I saw it. I thought it. It did all these things for me exactly when I was thinking. I knew 500%. It's not my imagination. It's like that's something paranormal's going on there. Something paranormal, you know.
Oh, yeah. My dad wouldn't believe it. I had to send him over your place and stay with you.
I don't know. I wouldn't make. Why would I make a story up that I talked to an alien in a candle? That's just.
Yeah, well.
Who makes up stories like that?
I'm not a head shrink. I can't say. I'm not educated in that aspect of it. But yeah, I guess your stories would be going pretty well in a book at the ER team. You'd go there, spill out all your secrets, and then they'll turn it into
I'll end up in one of them white coats with no handles, locked up in an institute. You know, that's the boy that talks to the aliens in the candle. We need some heavy medication with this one.
Yeah, I've never heard of candlelight aliens though. That actually talk.
I've never tried to talk to an alien from a candle ever since that episode. Never tried to talk to one
a candle doesn't really give off anything though, does it? Why would it form in a candlelight?
Like it wasn't. The candle was on the table. The candle was here, and like because it's a red circle glass, the orange flame light was on the wall.
Yeah.
But then it formed the alien's face, and I was like, "What are you doing in my wall? What are you doing in my candle?" And it started talking to me, and I'm like,
most people would freak out and run out the house.
Me, I got a very open mind. I sat there and had a conversation with her for 45 minutes. Then he wants me to come in.
You sound like me. Most of us run away and scream.
Most run away and scream.
Send it there and attack it or whatever. Try and figure it out. Yeah, but
I do have another. I don't know if it's a memory or if it's a dream.
Yeah.
But every time I think about it, it feels like I was there.
Yeah.
This was when I was at my mum's house down the road here. I was outside having a cigarette. It's only a couple of years ago, 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I was sitting having a cigarette, and this alien popped up in the backyard.
Yeah.
And I walked up to it, and I put my head on its head, and I sung it a song. And he was like, "Oh, you're cool. We like you." I sung it a song inside my head, and then the next memory I have is I'm on this front road, running up the road with a bunch of little kids, a couple kids, 5 or 6 young kids, only this high, and they're all here, and there's a UFO up at the top of the hill, above the treetops, and we're like, yeah, we're going to go see the UFO. We're all running, we're all happy. We're going to go see the UFO and the aliens, and then the next part of my memory is I'm going up the light, the tractor beam, into the UFO. This is the only memory I have. I can't figure out if I imagine this or if it's a dream. And my cat is with me. I got a little black cat. Probably can see her there. There she is. That's the other one. That one there. She's sitting in my arm. And then I don't know if I'm inside the UFO or still in the tractor beam. I think I must have gone inside the UFO. I'm with my black cat. And the alien's there, and it was like, the heart-shaped alien. It's got like a heart-shaped head, with the smaller horizontal black eyes. It's like the heart-shaped head alien. I actually drew a picture of it once when I was young. I drew a picture of it. And my Finnish grandmother saw the picture, and I drew a UFO, and I drew a picture of this heart-shaped head alien, and she thought I was very, very artistic. It was like. She's like full oil
artistic or autistic.
ADHD.
Yeah.
And my cat turns around and bites the alien. And the alien looks at me, and I grab my cat back. And I said, "Don't you touch my cat. I'll execute every single person in this UFO if you touch my cat. I love her. She's my baby." And that's all I remember. The way it happened, it feels like you just dreamt that. But
Yeah.
when you have a dream, you know you're having a dream. You know what I mean? Like when I have a dream, I know I'm in dream world.
Yeah.
I get kicked out of dream. I get kicked out of dream world all the time because I just do naughty things in dream world. They don't like me in dream world.
Yeah. But you might you might be like me, where you can actually dream, but you can actually control what's in the dream.
I don't know. I don't really dream about aliens. I don't dream about going in spaceships and stuff.
Hey, we got another Aussie with us. UFO Bros just joined us. You're a wee bit, bit late. You've missed all the good stuff. But this guy just keeps on giving. Are we allowed to know your first name, or you just want to go by Gabber? Do anyone know your first name at all?
Aki.
That's your real name?
AKI. Yep.
AKI. That sounds like a Kia. Yeah, right. It's Finnish. Right, yeah, okay.
Aki is Finnish. Short for Akille.
Yeah. But IKEA is also Finnish, isn't it?
That's IKEA. That's Swedish. That's a Swedish furniture company.
It? Well, they're next door to Finland.
Yeah, across the river.
Yeah. Slightly different, but
like we're across the river. We're in Scandinavia, but they say no Vikings ever come from Finland. And I'm like, Scandinavia, these are next door. Like we're cousins and stuff, same bloodline and stuff. Nah, only the real Vikings come from Norway and Denmark. Like, yeah, get out of here, Malacca.
Yeah. Yeah, they just raided you like they did the UK and pillaged and raped.
Basically.
So you think it may be real, but maybe a dream that your cat bit an alien. I'm really surprised.
That part about the cat, my cat biting the alien is like, that sounds like a dream.
Yeah, but
sounds like a dream, but the way I look, every time I look at it, or every time I saw this memory happening, it felt like it was real.
Yeah. And
I'm like, when I have a dream and I wake up, I'm like, oh shit, I was dreaming. Whoa. I'm glad I was dreaming.
That sounds like a bit like Screen Memory, where
when I wake up from this.
Yeah. Basically, your brain substitutes an image of something else, and the original one's too scary. Like, say if it's a mantis alien, you might see it as a big gnome or something like that.
I think the praying mantises are cute. They look very cute.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that.
They crawl around in my backyard. What does it matter if it's 6 inches or 7 foot, 8 foot tall?
They always sort of creep me out, the mantis, because of the big arms they have with the big daggers. I think
about the tens of thousands of different alien civilizations and all the different forms and gases and blobs and creatures.
Yeah. Cool.
They're gonna look so monstrosity that you're better off just thinking they're cute. If you're gonna get scared, you're never gonna get it anywhere. They're gonna scare you every time.
Yeah, I wasn't scared of Alien. I wasn't scared of Alien Greys when I saw them, but
the problems with humans, when they get scared, they kill everything that doesn't look like them. They think it's a monster.
Some of us do anyway.
Yeah, we're an ultra-violent species. That's why the aliens are scared of us, because they think we're going to just kill them all. We usually kill anything that doesn't look like us.
In my case, they were sticking a big needle in my back, so I wanted to kill them. But I couldn't move, and I couldn't make any sound. I was screaming, but nothing was coming out. I believe it wasn't a dream that I had, because there's a lot of other things that happened since. Like, I did have a
Sounds like you had an experience with those negative aliens that don't care nothing about our free will.
The strange thing is...
don't care we have free will. We don't agree to what they're doing, but they do it anyway. It's like, you can't do that shit.
Yeah, where they're sticking the needle there, a big lump formed this year, and it kept on growing and growing, It was absolutely painful, and then it started leaking through 2 holes. Mum said, because I couldn't see it. I said, "What's it look like? Take a photograph of it and all this." And it was leaking this clear fluid for 4 weeks straight, and it was sticking on my top and bedclothes.
That could be the elixir of life. That could be like the elixir of life, the Holy Grail juice.
And then suddenly it just went away, and the back pain that was there is gone. And I showed the pictures to the doctor. He says, "Oh, that's just a skin cyst, you know." And I said, "Well, I can't really tell him about the alien dreams, which wasn't a dream. It was actually something."
I wouldn't tell him. I wouldn't tell him. No, I wouldn't tell him.
Because they'll probably have me locked up for sure.
He's
already written down that I suffer depression. You know, he's already written that down. Because I can't. You know, I got sick and I was depressed and all that with not finding work and all that sort of stuff and lack of money. And so he put that I'm suffering depression, and because that ends up on the job sheets, of course, where you get on sickness and all that. So I'm classed as a depressed mental person now. And he was just, he wasn't being serious. I wasn't actually diagnosed with depression. He just says, "Sounds like you're depressed. I'll just tick you down as depressed." And it's sort of stuck there ever since now. I can't get rid of it. So I just play along. Yeah, I'm depressed. Give me more money. So I can buy more things. Yeah. But, yes, quite interesting. The more you get into paranormal and UFO field, the more crazy it seems to get. But something happened to me. I could swear something was pulling off my quilt. The quilt was very heavy with felt feathers in it. What you call them, doonas over in Australia. The big
duvet.
feather quilt, duvet, you know.
Yeah.
Doonas. Anyway, I was dreaming something, and then in my dream I saw this entity come up to my bed, and then I woke up and it felt like something was trying to pull off this quilt, and I thought, am I dreaming this? So I just said, "F off, right? Leave me alone." It's a pitch black in this room. In the other room, it's so black in there. And like my room here, it's got LEDs everywhere, you know, on various objects that's still lit up, and you sort of got some ambient light. But in that room, there's nothing apart from one TV LED, and it's red, and it doesn't light up the room very much. And that night, the light started coming on again. You know, hadn't been on for 3 days, and then I had this thing happen to me, and then the light started coming on again, the LED light. So, you know, I thought it may stop as soon as I set up the camera that aimed at it, but it didn't stop, hasn't stopped. And yeah, I want to analyse some more footage, but I haven't had time. I have to go through all of it and find if there's any weird bangs when everybody's asleep. There was a case that Mum heard talking during this alien visitation event I had. She said, "Oh, I thought you had the TV on." And I thought, well, it's a shame I didn't have my Android sound detector that automatically starts recording installed. Yeah. But I did have it installed months ago, right? And there's this huge crash noise just as I'm drifting off to sleep at 4 in the morning. There's a huge crash noise on the roof, and it sounded like someone fell over on the roof. And I thought, that's no cat. And I thought, oh, it would have woken up the house. So I opened up my bedroom door, popped my head into where my parents sleep, and they're dead to the world. Even the dog, all solid sleep. And I thought that at least the dog would be up and going woof at least, but no, they're all solidly sleeping. And I thought,
strange how a noise that loud did not wake up the dog. They hear noises 10 blocks away. They're barking at it.
Yeah, that's right. So I thought, oh, right, I've just set up my sound app on the phone because it's recording every time you get a sound. It records a couple of minutes. And I thought, oh, I'll just look over it tomorrow. Blow me, the whole night's recordings was all blank, and then the next morning it started recording again. That doesn't help with apps, you know. You got it on a program loop where it's doing all these recordings and it sticks in folders every hour or whatever, same as you do with your security camera does on the SD card. Yep. And that those hours were missing. And I thought, damn, I can't listen to it and see what it caught. Because I wanted to see that.
I've had CCTV cameras around my house, last house that I was living at. And I've had where strange things happen. The DVR system just turns itself off for that 12 hours. I'm just like, I never turned it off. It's not plugged into the internet. It just sits on record, continuous recording. Doing a whole week's worth of recording to see if anything bad happens. Yeah. And there's times where like something strange happens, so I'm like going to go back on the video and see what happened, and there's like 12 hours missing. Why isn't it recording now? Why is it turned off? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so you're finding the same problem I'm finding. It's like my security camera. The first time the light come on, I thought, oh good, I got the camera set up. Go and look. There's 4 hours missing on it. It's time before it and time after it, but where's the other 4 hours disappeared to? It might have been 7 hours. But anyway,
who knows with this Chinese spyware tech? It's probably got a Wi-Fi thing that connects to the internet, or the internet of things in your neighbor's house. So it's got an internet connection, so they can see your DVR camera. And they can just like turn it off and on whenever they want.
Oh, right, maybe.
IoT, Internet of Things. I don't trust this Chinese garbage.
No, but the strange thing is, I've set it up for email alerts onto the phone app. And blow me, I just can't get it to work anymore. I might uninstall the app, reinstall it, and log in again. But I've tried everything normally, you know, do updates, clear cache, and all that sort of stuff. And it still won't send alerts. And the day before it was sending alerts. And why is it suddenly not now recording alerts? Because I got to send it to the phone, and I got a application then detects the notifications and then wraps them up using Tasker, and it sends it off into email. So I got a permanent record or time trace of when the events were triggered. So I can look on the SD card and say, well, there's an event there, and there, and just download those particular hours. Yeah. Instead of downloading the whole lot and just sifting through it, but now it won't go. So I have to download the whole 4 hours. At the moment, I've got it on continuous record. So you expect
another cool UFO story. I was 17. I think I was driving home from the Naval Air Base Albatross after Air Force cadets. I was driving home and I noticed a big star up in the sky, like following my car. And wherever I went, this really bright star that's like brighter than Sirius was like following me. So I followed it to the next town, which is a beach town that looks over the all the way to New Zealand. And I stopped next to the fire station and looked at it, and I watched it slowly it was next to the telegraph lines. I watched it go left. I watched it go right. I watched it go up. I watched it go down. I'm like, that's not a star. So I turned around, started driving home. Yep. I think it continued following me through the forest. I was noting where it was so that I could go back and look at Google Earth and try and map out how it followed me. I sort of mapped it out like it followed me on an arc as I've gone through the forest roads. Sort of like followed me like on an arc, and then out to the ocean. And then as I pulled into my street, it was right there in front of me in the middle of the street, just sitting there. And as I pulled into the house, I had 2 Great Danes, and my dogs are going off. They're barking. And I'm just like, what set off my dogs? And I'm looking at the light, and my mum comes out. And my mum comes out because the dogs are going off. She's like, what's going on? Why are the dogs going off? And I pulled in, and I'm like, I don't know. This light over there just followed me home. It's like it's doing weird stuff in the sky. I think maybe the dogs are barking about that. Like, my mum was like, oh, okay. And then another time recently, about 8 months ago, I was maybe longer, a year ago, this last April, I was setting up my camera outside for Mars Mars succession, where Mars is really close to Earth, and I was setting up the P1000, and it was coming out dusk, so it was like 40%. Sky was still 60% light, and the three stars that are really, really bright and like form like a triangle were coming up over my house as per usual. And I'm setting up the camera. I noticed there was an extra star which was bigger and brighter than the other ones. And I was like, hang on a second, that's not part of the constellation that always rises above my house on sunset. And I said, I better quickly set up my camera faster. And I'm trying to set it all up. And as I kept watching it, and this huge big ball of light started going smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and split into two balls of light, and then took off.
And where was your video camera for that? P1000 on those suckers.
I was sitting there putting it on the camera and setting it all up while it did this. I'm like, you couldn't wait for me to like turn the camera on and put it on the tripod.
I'm sure they like teasing us like that. That's exactly what happens, isn't it?
It split into two smaller balls of light as it shot off eastwards.
Yeah, it's like the entity that's on my bed, and I could feel it standing there. So I go and grab the phone, and it sort of dissipates.
As soon as you do, it's like, bye-bye. See you later, bye-bye.
Yeah, see you later.
See you, bye.
Or they come back and erase your bloody, or corrupt your photo. How they do that, I don't know. How they're erasing stuff, and they just know. It's kind of strange. But that's not the first time I've heard it. You know, Stan Romanek had a story like that. You know, everybody keeps seeing him as the pedo man. But I'm pretty sure he was set up, because I'm a computer expert, and at that time that he was having trouble, we had some people in New Zealand also being accused of being pedos, like schoolmasters and all that. And of course, they got lost their job and all that, and eventually there was a computer scientist dude that got hold of a, you know how they take a perfect copy off your hard drive, they do multiple copies, and then they can take
an image of your hard drive.
Yeah, and they got this image file, right, and then he could sift through it, and he found this new type of Trojan, which about that time was rootkits. They could install in the system and be totally transparent to any virus scanners. And it was a peer-to-peer program for pedos to use any computer for storing files temporarily. And they just could access it. And, disgusting. But that's what this guy found.
They're putting their garbage on other people's computers so they can watch it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, but this school's master lost his job. He lost his health over it. He got accused. And of course, that stigma never goes away. So I think Stan Romanek, he was, if he was really having stuff happen to him like you, and of course it would be easy for anyone to that didn't believe it, some religious nut job that's also a bit of a computer hacker could easily install something like that on your computer at that time. Yeah. And also, he used to have like an open house, so anyone could come visit them and all that sort of stuff, and walk through and plant evidence in his house. At that time, USB thumb drives were coming in, so apparently they found a thumb drive on a bookshelf. If you're a pedo, you're not gonna hide it somewhere where FBI agents go to find it. You're gonna have it sort of in a jar buried in the backyard or something, can't you? It's not going to be in the house. It'd be somewhere not non-obvious, taped to the back of a picture frame or something, or inside a picture frame. You get those false ones. But even that's fairly obvious, I would, stick it inside a soft toy, or, there's all sorts of places you could hide it, but you wouldn't just have it easy to find in the house. So I don't believe the story. I think he was set up. So he admitted that he found it on his hard drive and deleted it off, and that's the only reason he got convicted, because he was in possession of child porn and he admitted to it. So they got him on that account, but they couldn't get him on the account that he was actually using peer-to-peer and selling it on to other people. That's got another name for it. Anyway, it was several cases. But everybody keeps going on about Stan the pedo. But anyway, he had a story that he invited Rojas, that, what's his name? Alexandro Rojas was invited, and all these other bigwigs in ufology were going to his birthday party or something like that. And it started pouring rain, and outside was this young girl, 10-year-old or something like that. It's on one of the Open Minds news radios. I couldn't find it, so I wanted to pull it out and actually have a listen to that episode again. It was actually like a chit-chat with Jason McCullen on this news entry of this Open Minds radio, but it's out there somewhere. So Rojas was telling the story about the party, and so this girl was standing there, and she had these big almond eyes. They were larger than normal human eyes, and they were like almond shaped, like the black alien grey, right? And they seemed to be very dark. And he said, "Oh, can I help you? Do you want to come in out of the rain?" And she ran off. But before then, he actually took a snapshot onto his smartphone. And so she ran off, they took it inside, and then he brought up the photograph, and he was showing Rojas it and other people. And as he's looking at it, it starts corrupting, and the image starts corrupting on the screen, on the memory card. And no one else in the party could see it, apparently. And they tried everything to get that picture back off the card, and it was gone. It had been erased. Really strange. This is Rojas.
She really did not want. She did not want her picture taken.
Yeah, but everybody's saying it's so fake. But this girl standing in the rain, ran off, which they now believe is one of his hybrid children. It sort of fits his story. Maybe there's more to it after all. So I thought, oh, okay. I always thought this guy was a bit of a hoaxer myself, but he did that rubber thing where he was throwing up in the air, saying he's got paranormal activity on a podcast, and that's when he was looking really sick and was having this legal fight with the FBI, and apparently he come out and admitted about it the next day or a week later or something like that to this podcaster, saying, "Oh yeah, sorry, I was mucking around. I was threatened if I didn't do it on air. This person was going to do something really horrible to my family. So I didn't want to take a chance because these people have been harassing me." So, which is fair enough. I can understand the guy just play around on a podcast and just figure it's a throwaway, interview. So, but everybody said, "Oh, there you go. There's the proof that he's a hoaxer." But it doesn't prove anything. He's a hoaxer, That's that one where he's got the alien that looks like it's like you'd have to be like what's that guy that does the puppets? The Muppets and all that. You'd have to be a really top class. Ben Hansen. Yeah, Hansen puppeteer. You'd have to do some of the puppeteer stuff to do that video of the alien that blinks his eyes looking around the corner, right? That would have to be like full-blown CGI. And that Stan Roman was not bright enough to do that sort of stuff. So either he had someone that was making it for him that hasn't come out still, or he's saying that they did actually record them on the camera and just left it there for him, like his alien children or whatever hybrids. They wanted to know what they wanted to let them know that they were there and always there.
Say no. Say no to hybrids.
So what's UFO Bro saying? Inside India for a scammer or hacker. You talked about the camera. Yeah, deleting files as possible, because these Chinese apps they force you to sign up to their site to install the app software to actually connect to the camera. You actually have to pair it to the camera. It's meant to be some new security protocol using the internet and all that. But it also creates a account at a local database somewhere, doesn't it? So that means that they could access your camera from the WANG because there's no options in there to turn off the WANG ports in these cameras. It's not like your normal cameras where you can control all that sort of stuff. LAN ports, WANG points for internet, disable it.
Wi-Fi,
sort of
IoT, Internet of Things, or connecting Wi-Fi everywhere so they can connect to any Wi-Fi wherever they want. So
yeah, it could be a hacker that's getting in there and deleting stuff. But why would they do? My camera, I did tell you that I found a backdoor in it. Although it's not sending out alerts, I found a backdoor on it's got an FTP server on there with the username root, no password. It's the first thing I tried because I'm a computer person. I thought, okay, it's got a undocumented FTP server on there. Let's see if it's passworded, and I typed in root with no password and it let me straight in. And then I could just access all my video files and transfer it to computer, which is really good because it doesn't mean I have to buy their cloud service, because normally you'd have to pop out the SD card manually and put it into the computer, or you could download it through their cloud service because it connects to the camera remotely, and then it allows you to then transfer files onto the cloud there, or they record it non-stop and you can download whatever they record as well for a fee, $5 US a month. No, $5 US, $5 US a month, which ain't too much, but it's still $10 our money, isn't it? Oh no, $2. They've put it down. It's $2.90 at the moment, which works out about $5 something New Zealand, so it's $6 a month. Which ain't too bad. And I thought, well, do I subscribe to the cloud to see if my notifications start working again? Because I think what they've done is they give you so many, then they gradually reduce the number of notifications to none, and then it makes your camera pretty much useless apart from being a video recorder non-stop, which is what it's doing. But you don't get any alerts to let you know when it happens. The key points to look at on the camera. But anyway, the motion detector sucks, and they said if you sub to the cloud service, you get better motion detection. I thought, well, yeah, it sounds about right. They're kind of bastards, the Chinese, that's for sure.
I had my friends owned a Thai massage shop in the next town over, and I went and set up the CCTV cameras because one of their workers was taking money out of the till. So I set up the CCTV network for them and hooked it up to the DVR system. And they were like, "Oh, we want to look at the cameras while we're in, not at the shop." So, all right, give me your phone. And like the way I got their iPhone and just like scanned the barcode, and it instantly gave me access to the cameras with like no password or anything. I was just like, this system is not right, like their own phone just accessed their whole security CCTV system without proper password protection and stuff. I just scratched my head going, this system is dodgy. It's got more backdoors than a Greek restaurant.
Yeah, I believe it. The Chinese are really devious. That's why I want to get cameras. They got full protocols like FTP, email server, and all that built into the firmware, because there's no reason to have external server box doing it. But I bought this MVR, right? It's meant to be able to talk to the IP cameras, and when they get motion detectors, and actually record the video and grab photographs of it and send it over your email. And I can't get that working because these cameras, even though they say they're compliant, they're not. They've tacked out various bits in it, so it doesn't actually work with NVR, which is network video recorder, which they use for security. And then I get onto the Chinese guy. He says, "Oh, but if you bought our cameras, it's got a special protocol called Net IP." And I thought, yeah, that sounds like Chinese, all right. And he says,
IP, yeah, you're right. Your net is on our IP.
yeah, yeah. And
The Chinese are very clever. They're very crafty.
it's their own protocol for talking to their own cameras, and if you look at the cameras, they've got everything.
Why has no one else got the protocol? How come they're the only ones with the protocol?
Yeah, and of course that if Microsoft did that he'd be in court for what's that called? Competition thing where you cut people out in the market. You know, people got to buy your stuff. What do you call that? Not inside trading. What's it called? I can't think of the word. Someone will know what I mean. Competitive something. Yeah, what's the special name for it? That he got done for, and he was fined like $100 million, wasn't he? Which is nothing to Bill Gates anyway. Just change your password constantly. Yeah. Well, the FTP, I haven't mucked around with it to see if I can hack it or not. But I checked to see if I checked to see what else was in the configuration file, and it actually had a line there to turn on RSTP and ONVIR. Is it R? No,
competitive advantage or competitive market advantage.
Yeah, this is open. Anyway, it's open source video format basically. Most cameras nowadays have it in there, so you can actually control it via remote software, via passwords and all that sort of stuff. But they don't want you to use that. They want to force you to install the app, which then connects them to you, and then use the app to log into the camera. And then they can look at everything, control everything. So the Chinese are actually probably looking for everybody's IP security cameras, you know, and
they are. They've been caught out. This company, company had all their security cameras like from China, and like they found out China was spying on them, and they gave away all these secrets, or got them in all this trouble, or got all this stuff stolen, or all this big thing happened, and it was all because of the Chinese cameras they used. They had a whole network that they were spying on.
Right. I was going to do some more stuff this show, but I'll leave it for Monday morning, I think. I did do a recap of the ghost stuff, but I'll keep on looking over it, and we'll do that Monday, hopefully. I didn't expect for you to... How long you been on there now? 2 hours, by the looks of it. I think it was about half an hour you joined me into the show.
Yeah.
So maybe I should wrap up now, because it's 2.5 hours, is it? And it's walking the dog time. But unless there's anything else you want to talk about, but at least you know how to do it now. You could probably pop on other times and be a side debunker with me if you want to. But I know most of the time you're too busy and streaming on your computer games.
Yeah, I mean, streaming or playing my games, or always doing something.
So you're probably up to when the sun rises and then you go to bed. Is that right?
I don't know when the sun rises, because look, I got the curtains on. I got the light in the back. I don't know when
when I've been up at 4, when I've been up at 4 a.m, I see you're still playing a game on Discord. So, so you must be up to 4. So you're like me. You're up all night long, which is normally when the witching hour happens. When people aliens meant to show up, or the paranormals meant to show up. I don't think they like when you. Yeah, they don't like it when you're awake and have lights on and all that sort of stuff. So it keeps them away.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, it's been interesting talking to you.
It's been getting good chatting.
Yeah.
I shared my stories, my experiences. People can take what they want from it.
there's probably something you forgot to talk about, though. You'll probably say, "Oh, shush, I meant to talk about that," but there's always another time.
Always another time. I still haven't talked about all the UFOs I've seen. I've seen so many of them all the time. I was just like, I'm getting used to it. Sometimes I'll be like walking out the back and I'll see a UFO flying, and I'll be like, quick, run inside and get the camera. And I can't be bothered running inside. I just sit back and then just enjoy the beautiful UFO flying past. I just like I see them all the time. It's like watching a bird fly past. It's like I get used to it.
Well, I wish I could see UFOs. I'm sort of getting all these cameras, and now they've all disappeared.
see where I live. I'm on top of a mountain, the highest mountain in the entire region. So, and I've chopped a lot of the trees down in my backyard. I've had them removed. So my view is basically all the way east. I can, if I could see New Zealand, I could see it from where I am.
Let's bring up your map. Australia
and west, I can see all the way across the desert.
Australia. I keep hitting the wrong keys. Here we go. Bring up a map. Mappy. Let's see where you are. We'll just give a ballpark figure. You don't want any killer FBI or Men in Black coming to get you.
NASA's coming for me from all my photos of buildings on the moon. I'm on the hit list.
So you're over New South Wales, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or were you over here with the UFO stuff?
No, I'm over. I'm just next to Canberra.
You're up near the coastline here. Where's Canberra?
Canberra's down the bottom left, bottom right.
There?
Canberra.
ACT, is that it?
Yeah.
Canberra. So you're about 15 miles away from the coastline. Is that where all the sightings happen?
Yeah, I see a lot coming from the south. I get a lot from the south. And a lot from the east, a lot from the coast, and the occasional ones coming out of the west.
I don't see any flat-top mountains here, though. It's a bit hard to tell on that, though. Where's the mountain range?
If you look at Goulburn, go to the right of Goulburn. That mountain range there, that's the highest point.
And let's see.
Where Goulburn is.
Where's that? Down, up?
North, up from Canberra's Goulburn.
Up there,
to the right.
Up in the corner there.
Yeah.
Is that mountain range still, or is that forests?
That's all mountain range, and there's a huge ravine that goes up the side. It's a huge ravine. The base.
So you're in a.
And if you look south, basically my view south is all like there's nothing there. It's all national park all the way down to Mount Kosciuszko. All that's just like there's no towns there or nothing.
2 national parks there.
Yeah.
Well, actually 3 right across the bottom there.
Yeah, I get a lot of my activity starts from like the south. I'll get a lot of activity in the sky from that south direction. And when I look at the Google map, I notice there's no towns there. It's just national park and mountains where everyone goes skiing in wintertime, and I'm like, it's a good little place to like fly back and forth if you're going into the center of Australia, because nobody's going to see you fly from the ocean and in and get back and forth again.
So you're up there somewhere, is it? How many people in your city that you're in? Do you know?
Only a couple hundred, I think.
Couple hundred. So there you go. So you're pretty remote, really.
Yeah.
But I think you can type in Air Force airports, and it'll give you a map around the airports around your location. If you put the city name and say airports, and it'll put all these markers around so you can see where the air traffic's going to be. But yeah, you got all this off the coast here. It's amazing you don't have big earthquakes where you are, really. And you got all this underground tectonic plates stuff happening. Unlike New Zealand, we get rocked by little earthquakes every day. You don't
The
notice
only
those,
earthquakes we have, they're up in Newcastle, way up north, and they're very, very mild. Every
UFO
10,
proof
15
is saying
years.
he's UFO bro. I mean, not proof. I'm from Adelaide. There you go. All these Australians on. I'm more convinced with the military. That's what I was going to ask you. Have you got any military background? Like, did your father do military? Your mother work in
Me?
military? Yeah.
No. No. My grandfather, my Greek grandfather was a Green Beret commando in World War II fighting the Italians and the Nazis.
All right.
Me,
'Cause
I was in Air Force cadets for
right,
like
yeah,
7 years when I was
my
younger.
father, my father was on RAF and NATO, some NATO, I think he said. Secret stuff he was up to. He was a radar installer and trainer and all that sort of stuff, maintainer. So we lived in Libya for a while, a year and a half as well, while he set up the radar system there. That's when they were friendly. um, in Germany for a year and a half, and he reckons he went to an underground base there, 7 stories deep. So, yeah, we just don't know what's out there. But, yeah, all these people that are in military, a lot of their children start having experiences happening to them, like they're part of
Yeah.
experiments.
Like
You know,
I knew someone when I was in Nowra at HMAS Albatross, the Naval Air Base.
mm,
They're supposed to have something like 1,500 or 2,000 people working there, but like I marched up and down from the front gate all the way to the back of the Naval Air Base
yeah,
every
yeah,
Wednesday for like 7 years. So I saw every single building. I've been inside virtually every single building through the years doing work experience in there. I did the PTS Army Parachute Training School course twice there, jumping out of airplanes. That's where the Army does all their parachute training for the Army. And so I've been nearly to every single building and hangar. And like when you count all the buildings, 1,500 people don't even fit in those buildings to work.
mm,
And my mate was the head electrical engineer. He used to be in charge of a team of 5 people that would work on the Sea King helicopters, and then he would have to oversee the electrical work they'd done and tick it off. And he told me sometimes a photocopy machine would break in the underground part of the base, and he had
mm,
to get a special Q clearance pass or whatever you want to call it to
yeah,
gain access to this. He'd have to go underground 1 or 2 levels or whatever, and
mm.
they would only open certain doors for him
Indoors, yeah.
to go directly to that photocopier or fax machine, and he'd have to repair it, and then he'd have to go back out and up to the ground level again. And he used to tell me there's a full underground system in there, but he's
Yeah.
never been allowed access to like the bigger parts, only just to repair something electrical.
Did you listen to my episode, Earl Grey's mother's story? As well, it's about her underground base. She worked for Howard Hughes, of all people. She was the second secretary at the time. Howard Hughes married his first secretary because the second secretary is the one that does all the work. But anyway, he used to get her to go to the military on his behalf to do the stuff for him and drop off documents and stuff. But one of the things was she sent out to this underground base. Went to basically like a shack. Into the shack, and it had this lift system in there. Would take him like a mile underground, and then she met Von Braun.
A mile
under there.
underground.
Yeah,
A mile underground.
yes, that's what she said. I don't know if it was exactly a mile underground.
These underground bases are huge. You don't even know how big they go because 10 years later they upgrade it and give another 10 floors down, another 5 floors across.
Well, you can only go down certain things. The heat builds up. Every mile underground, you get an increase in 1 Celsius degree temperature, right? So you got to cool out the outside of the building down with like a like double water sleeves, you know, and like a refrigerator, you know. So you got to keep it cool, as people in there just get cooked. Aircon system.
Then you get a leak and it floods the whole underground.
Oh, do you have all that set up? I wouldn't say you'd get a leak though, because these walls would be also solid from radiation. Because as you go deeper underground, you get more radiation from the rock. Certain rocks emit it. But anyway, yeah, I just thought maybe there was a military connection, because there was a military connection in my side of things. And Earl Grey's mum had a military connection. But go and have a listen to her story. It's on my home tab. Go down to have a look at the best episodes, and I think if you scroll along one or two, you'll find it. She talks about having the city underground, pretty much. That's back in the
city underground.
Yeah, back in the 70s we're talking about here. So
it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me, because they had the threat. You know, they were worried about nuclear war, so they started building nuclear-proof cities underground to survive like a nuclear war and stuff.
Well,
so
when he was saying,
me.
yeah, he was saying it in the interview, when his mum saw Star Wars, she said, Earl, I wouldn't expect it not to be anything like that, but like that in the universe. It's actually like that in the universe. Apparently she was given a presentation or something while she was underground, and she knew a lot about aliens. She said aliens are real and exist in the universe, and she wouldn't say any more than that, because she had high level security, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, I got to go for a pee and all that sort of stuff, so I might just round it up there. But we can always do these late night weekend chat sessions on other stuff if you want to. But
no worries. Good talking to you.
Yeah, so I was just going to wrap it up there, guys. And I'm a wee bit tired myself at the moment. I'm still working on all these different projects to get to my hardware working. The Chinese hardware. Anyway, just going to round it off here.
Chinese spyware.
I'm just going to put up the end credits now, guys. Say good night. Thanks for joining us, those that popped in.
Good night, everybody.
Those will be watching it offline tomorrow, probably saying, "Oh, damn, we missed a really good show, and we could have been on the side chat asking questions." Well, it's too bad, you know.
Asking me questions. They missed it. Yeah.
No, they could be asking questions now.
I'm happy to answer questions. Doesn't bother me. But
yeah,
they missed it.
Stick it in the comments. Stick it in the comments, and I'll direct him to answer them there. And we'll do it on a next update show, or find him on our Discord server. Join our Discord group. Anyway, go to wrap up now.
You can ask me on Discord.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, mate.
Yeah. Good night.
Take it easy.
Yeah. You too. And
buddy.
We'll just end it. What's not coming up? Yay! I have to fix that up. Good night, all. Might just end it quickly on the credits there, so it gets processed, so I'm not up all night. So that was GabberBeastTV. You've seen him in the side chat, and now you heard some of his good stories. Crazy stories, as you heard. So see what you can make out of it, and see if you can find out any research there on it. That would be really handy if you found like pyramid-shaped hats, alien stories. That would be really good if you can find something similar.